So we stopped with Facebook Live, but we're going to pick it up with some special bonus footage. Again, I'm James. This is Bertholt and Jon, industrial designers here at Back USA. Going to tell us a little bit more about a day in the life on the job as an industrial designer at Back USA. Guys, chime in whenever. What are you using for motivation, for inspiration? I know you guys are artists at heart. You're certainly exercising all your artistic abilities when creating the new products here at Back USA. What drives you?
Well, I'm not an artist.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
You're not
We're
artists.
actually not artists.
We're not artists.
I'm embarrassed.
Just wanna, no, you're
This
fine.
looks like art to me. It looks like I see a brilliantly drawn product. Leads me to think that maybe there's some sort of artistic ability there.
You could say artistic ability. I really view it as a ability to communicate visually. So art is more about communicating an emotion by what you're making.
Okay.
Whereas in design, we use drawing as a visualization tool to communicate ideas more so than anything else. So yeah, being able to sketch is really important, but the point necessarily isn't really, we're not making art.
Yeah, no.
At the end of the day, it's not really art.
It's not exactly art because this is something that has a practical, tangible use at the end of the day, and
Not
often
that art isn't.
that's what I'm wondering. I'm sort of wondering what the difference is, like, because it's, I don't know, you're creating tools, so I think maybe that's different, although I guess some art could be doubled as a tool.
Okay, so
Break it down for me.
us as industrial designers, I think you need to understand where the term industrial design came from in the first place. And industrial design, or just industrialism in the first place, came from, when the Industrial Revolution was happening in Europe.
Okay.
Right? So at that time, you have factories producing mass production and stuff. And basically that's what industrial design is. It's designed for mass production. That's in a nutshell. I mean, it's way more than that. It's way more than just that. It depends on what you want to do, because you can also jump into any industry. Like right now, Bertholt and I are in the tech industry, designing for tech. But there's industrial designers out there that design for the automotive industry, that design for the medical industry. It depends on whatever your focus is. We as designers can literally jump into any industry we would like to.
And sorry to kind of co-opt your question.
No,
I
please.
just wanted to throw that as a clarification, because sometimes there can be the misconception that industrial design is art, when really at the end of the day, we're probably more related to engineers than we are to artists as far as mentality and approach. So it's a very systematic approach to how we problem solve, and how we create. That's, I think, totally different from how art is approaching.
It's less about evoking an emotion and more about providing a solution.
Well,
and you might be trying to evoke an emotion.
But the thing is, again, it depends on what you're trying to do with the design. For instance, in a medical design, you would have, clean round surfaces, and typically white, because it gives
clean.
you that perception of like sterile. Round for friendliness instead of harsh and sharp like this.
Right.
So these are things that also we still have to think of the emotional response that the product is going to elicit. But the artistic side, where you like us sketching, that's probably the only part that is, overlapping into the art side. Right. Because everything else we're focusing on, how is this piece going to be manufactured? We need to look at all these engineering aspects.
Right.
Like, is this a weak point? Is this going to break? Like, for instance, this clip right here. You might see that, an engineer might come up and be like, oh, you might have a weak point right at this spot right here, And us as designers, we have to think of that. We have to think of all right, where is this product going to be living in the real world,
Okay. So, let's agree that, is it science meets art? Can we call industrial design science meets art?
Or engineering meets art.
Or engineering meets art and science.
Engineering meets art.
All right, I like it. Cool. So we haven't even began to touch what you guys go to keep yourselves motivated, or give yourselves an extra edge on what needs to be created or thought about. So what do you use? What keeps you going? What's something that maybe another industrial designer or artist or engineer could use whilst working?
Yeah, I think some of it is very person specific. Like what one person finds inspirational, not necessarily the same for another person. I
Okay.
kind of think of inspiration as there's two parts to it. One is motivation to do your craft. The other is maybe what inspires you, or what do you see that you want to apply to what you're doing. So as far
Influence.
as
Something influence. Like
yeah,
what
influence.
okay.
Yeah, what maybe influence is a good word
Yeah.
for that. I like that. So for motivation, honestly, for me, a lot of my motivation comes, I think, internally. I've always had a real desire to create and make things, and I love that. Like I, as a kid, loved Legos. I loved drawing robots and all that stuff
Cool.
because I wanted to make things. As a designer, what I find that influences me is honestly everything around. I think we're kind of trained as designers to really take a critical eye to anything that's around us. So even, you know, the table, the furniture, sometimes I'll see shapes that I find very attractive. Like I actually really like a lot of the shaping on your lounge
On
chair.
my body?
I wasn't going to say that, but that can be a source of inspiration.
I'm shapelier than ever, Bertholt. I was hoping you were going to compliment me on my shapeliness.
Yes,
Do go
your
on.
shapeliness inspires me, James. I just want to. But sometimes you can see, you know, this wedge shape.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I think, wow, I can take that same wedge shape and apply it over to this product by kind of putting that shaping on the side of the device.
Okay.
So to me, there's a lot of that inspiration that I find in the world around me. I really love Logitech. Whatever they're doing design-wise currently, I think they're making a lot of really smart design choices. Their Craft keyboard, a lot of their current products that are coming out, mice, keyboards, those devices, I think are really well designed and have a really interesting aesthetic.
Yeah.
Apple obviously has a very good design sense, although it's a little bit sterile, I think now.
Yeah,
You know?
it's very impersonal, it feels like to me, just from somebody who doesn't know a lot about industrial design or even art or engineering or anything else. It comes off as, for me, very, I'm struggling to find the word to describe it, but it's not terribly friendly.
Right.
I don't know if you guys get that from them, if it's even worth mentioning, but.
Yeah, and I think they're going for a very specific aesthetic. I think that some of Microsoft's products, especially their Surface Studio, I think is a very brilliantly designed product. So,
and you use that almost daily, right?
Right. Yep. It's one of
So
my tools that I design with, and I mean, even Nike Freeze. These are my favorite shoes. I always buy Nike Freeze. I love the design. I love the comfort.
You're brand loyal to Nike Freeze.
Huh?
You're brand loyal to Nike Freeze.
I'm brand loyal to Nike Freeze. So really what I find is I find a lot of different products from different companies that I find really inspirational because I feel like they're so well designed, they're so effective, and yeah.
Cool. Nice. How about you, John? What do you find to be influential in your career as an industrial designer with us?
So my inspiration, I feel like, is more of a story.
Okay.
than what do I see for inspiration? I'm new to industrial design, actually.
Say that again?
I'm new to industrial design.
Okay.
Actually, like technically, the school that I went to, which is Savannah College of Art and Design. Industrial design is a 4-year program.
SCAD.
SCAD.
I've heard of it.
And I was doing sound design at first. Mm-hmm. And it was cool, like I liked it, I enjoyed it. But then I saw my roommate and he was, I would finish my projects like weeks in advance. And then I would have like 1 or 2 weeks of just like doing nothing. I'm like, okay, I'm kind of bored. And this school is really expensive, so I need to be doing something more worth my time, And my roommate, he was doing industrial design, and I'd see him sketching away and like drawing and doing a bunch of research for, future products. And there was a lot of research actually. And, there's just a full process in industrial design that I saw. And that really attracted me. Like I got attracted to that. So the end of my junior year, I'm about to graduate, and I just dropped everything. I was like, I'm doing industrial design.
Wow.
I flew through the 4-year program in 2 years and thought like it was one of the if not the best decision I've ever made in my life to
Awesome.
switch from that to do industrial design and make that my life career. You know, so
Remarkable.
that's really my inspiration. Just like I saw that with industrial design, you can do anything, virtually anything. You know, you have an idea, you picture like, oh, I want a spaceship. Someone has to build and design a spaceship, right? So like
right.
you look at the research,
Right.
you do the research, you get a team of engineers, you get a team of whoever else you need, aeronautical engineers or whatever, and you guys work as a team, you collaborate, and you sketch up these ideas, and then you bring it to CAD modeling, computer modeling,
Yep.
and you make this a real thing. And then before you know it, like this just went from an idea to a sketch to this real thing in front of you, you know? And that's my inspiration.
Sure.
The fact that you can do that with industrial design and literally jump into any field you want to.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly powerful. You're starting with a clean slate, and the next thing you know, you're actually holding something in your hands that never was there until you put your mind to it with a team of people to make. Writing is similar to that in that you're staring at a blank screen, and the next thing you know, you have an entire composition composed, and you wonder how that even happened, but it's something you can really hang your hat on, so I'm with you guys there.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I think that's going to wrap it up. I feel like you guys have said it all, and I'm so grateful and thankful to have. All right, maybe we'll do a round two sometime. I don't know, but for today, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody who joined us. Thank you to the crew who you can't see, but hooked us up with everything we needed to make this happen. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.